Welcome to The Business Show, the place where business minds share their biggest highs, toughest lows, and everything in between.
Very special guests today to talk about their business experience. Again, building on our series about looking at student businesses for when we're then looking for some new Think Business applicants for next term. So I'm joined by Tiana and talk about her business member, and Ahmed is going to be talking about Hydropop. So can you give the audience, just to start with, literally the 30-second elevator pitch to describe your business? So Tiana, do you want to go first?
So my name is Tiana and I joined the Think Business program last year, and I started my own sustainability business called Member, where we take your valuable items of clothing and turn them into keepsake teddy bears that last a lifetime.
Fantastic. Ahmed.
So, hi, my name is Ahmed, and I am the CEO of Hydropop, which is a team-based business that sells electrolyte popsicles to students on a weekly basis. And yeah.
Awesome. So, got a little good overview of both of those businesses. So, just go through a few quick questions as we're a little bit short on time. But Ahmed, just to start with you first, what was the problem you were trying to solve when you first started your business? And how did you know that your business idea was worth pursuing?
So, I actually remember this one key moment where I was sat down with many members of the PE department, and they were all complaining about how students after school would exit from the back gate and there would be an ice cream truck selling all these unhealthy items to kids, and they would say how unfortunate it is that they would see a long line waiting to buy, ice creams that are filled with sugar and won't necessarily keep them energized throughout the day. So I remember that moment. I realized that we could change that for students and provide them an alternative that still tastes as good, but provides so much more health benefits by hydrating them and making sure that they will be able to have energy to go a full school day and even after school.
Awesome. Okay, so Tiana, you've been running your business for over a year now. So what does your business look like now compared to the first 3 months when you first started?
There's definitely a big difference. At the first 3 months, things were really slow. I was mostly focusing on building my brand, finding suppliers who were willing to comply with such a big task of making bears at a regular basis, and then searching for my market, who am I catering to, who are my customers, and then adjusting proper prices. Whereas now my business is more established and I can set up and sell. It's more hands-on at the moment.
Awesome. So some really good ideas there, and some thoughts around the idea of what you're looking to solve, and also then a bit about the journey. So Ahmed, what about the single most important decision that you've made probably for Hydropop in the last 12 months?
So one of the most important decisions was deciding on our team schedule. So we are Year 12 students. Many of us have other commitments outside of the business. However, we had to decide on how we want to actually bring forward the business to the students. And that was a very important decision because it would shape how everyone views our business and what to expect from us. So we ultimately had to decide between having a strict schedule of operating once a week or flexibility in choosing before the week starts how many times we're going to sell that week, if we're going to sell that week at all. And I feel like us choosing the second option was much more versatile for us because we were able to meet our own needs and make sure our product quality is still to a high standard, rather than if we were to go down a fixed schedule pathway. I feel like we would have started to slack off and ultimately also have customer dissatisfaction, because then they would expect something, and if we would deliver something of low quality, they would be disappointed with our business. So I feel like that was one of the biggest decisions we had to make starting off.
Great, some real good insights there. So Tiana, a question for you that kind of, I'm sure lots of students thinking about starting a business within Metropole will have at the back of the head, or possibly even much closer to the front. But how do you balance running a business with your studies and all of your other commitments?
So definitely organization is key. You can't just jump into both activities and think you can conquer it both. So what I like to do is I like to organize a few hours each week to member, and then so I have time to focus on member itself, and then focus on the social and academic aspects of year 13 as well.
So planning and balance, absolutely
Pretty much.
key. Great, some really good advice there. And not that we want to kind of be negative at all, Ahmed, but was there a moment when you seriously considered quitting when you and your team were starting Hydropop? Was there anywhere where you thought, I don't want to do this? You didn't, but because clearly it's flourishing and doing well. But what happened next when you did have that, if you had that consideration at any stage?
So, funnily enough, this actually happened very early on into the business. We hadn't even started selling yet, and I remember me and one of my partners on the team were just discussing how what we thought we signed up for and what we actually did sign up for was very, very different. So we were like a bit shocked going into the whole business aspect of it, and we were hesitant. And I feel like that's a normal feeling to have with any business you can start, with any initiative you take on. You can have that hesitation, and it's important that you address it rather than push it down and try to ignore it. So we had that hesitation, and we went to have a conversation with our previous mentors, which was at the time Mr. Mant. And he gave us advice, and he gave us a deeper insight into what we would actually be doing and what our tasks would be like. And it was that clarification and that sense of reassurance that made it all seem much more manageable in terms of our lifestyles. And I feel like in terms of advice in this sense is to make sure that you have support in your community. Don't be afraid to reach out, have a conversation with people. Just because you have those thoughts of doubt and you're not sure if you actually want to do it, make sure you actually reach out to people and have that conversation with them, as they can provide you a different perspective on things than you have.
So a key point about looking for advice, and don't just operate in isolation, because there is plenty of experience and support out there, and you only need to ask. Right, Tiana, what achievement are you most proud of with Membear so far, and why?
So this is quite recent. Around a few weeks ago, I was called on by Ms. Salari to make around 7 bears for the Center of Excellence for Sports. It was a ceremony that I was called upon to make as gifts. I got to meet a few very important people, and he gave me such a crazy task of making 7 bears in a week. And I find this event to be the most successful for me because we were able to complete that on time. And it was a great experience overall for me, and one I hold close to my heart.
And a very high-profile event for
Yeah.
Membear to be a part of. Fantastic. Okay, Ahmed, how do you personally measure success in your business?
So there's definitely a lot of ways a person can measure success in their business, whether that be customer satisfaction, profit, employee satisfaction. So for me personally, I find that employee satisfaction is one of my key measures of success, as I find that having that team that is willing to take on the task of selling like on a frequent basis alongside their academics and their social life, it's a lot to take on. So seeing that my team is very satisfied with how things are running, that kind of gives me a sense of reassurance that things are working out. So I like that, how that feels.
Okay, right, just to wrap up for both of you, just a couple of very quick fire questions. So, one thing you wish you'd known before you started your business, Tiana?
Proper planning. Don't just jump in. Make sure you know what you're doing, who you're catering to, and then start.
Okay, Ahmed?
Marketing is one of the most important things.
Okay, and then a very, very easy one to finish, but very important for anyone considering pitching to Think Business. Tiana, start a business at school, yes or no, and why?
Yes, great opportunities. More, you feel more part of the school, and you feel like you own something.
Great. And Ahmed?
Yes, you expand your skill sets in a way that there is no other opportunity like it at the moment.
Great. Guys, thank you so much. Some amazing insights into your business journey and some great advice for potential students who are looking to start their businesses within the Metropole under the Think Business banner. Thanks for your time.
Thank
you.
Enjoy your sports day today.
Thanks for tuning in to The Business Show. Remember, every great business started with a single step and maybe a little inspiration along the way.